Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Jibber's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And look at the rain clouds that passed me by. Well, they didn't completely pass me by. I got a little spritz out of it, a sprinkle if you might. And I guess that was my fault because I tempted it. I came out a little earlier and I was saying, well, you know, I'm not getting as much charge as I should be getting. And I was watching the weather come across over there, and there was a big dust cloud over there coming off of the dry lake bed. And I was just totally amazed at watching that. And then I saw sprinkles of rain on the window. But that was already after I had already come out here. But it looks like there's more coming on the way. Anyway, I came out here and my panels were filthy. I mean, they weren't black, they were tan. All of them, everything was all tan. And there's probably a good 1/16 of an inch of dust on top of these. And you can see where it washed down here. So I got my garden hose out and I hosed these all down and washed all of the dust off of them. I didn't have time to scrub them and squeegee them, but I got them pretty darn clean. And I noticed that all of a sudden my charging was up big time, like 4 points almost instantly. So anyway, right after I did all of that, I went inside. I said, well, I'm going to give my foot a rest. So I went inside the cabin and sat down. And I have myself a little snack, and couldn't believe that the rains started. So it rained just enough to put some more little dirty speckles back on my panels. And I should have known better because the county came through and scraped the main roads the other day. Well, let's see, that would have been earlier in the week. I think Wednesday or so, something like that, of last week. Or maybe it was Thursday of last week. But anyway, the roads are already messed up again. And apparently these guys over here had a water truck, and they're hauling their water in with a water truck now and not knowing where they're getting the water from. But, you know, at $300 a truckload for water, if they're hauling in a few, half dozen truckloads a day, that's a lot of money. And I don't know if they're actually going to spend that kind of money. But the road, I went out to check out my mail today, and on the road going down where they come out with their water truck, it looks like a water truck blew a valve while he was full coming into the place, and the whole road was washed out full of black sand. But you can tell it was probably about 3,000 gallons of water that just came out of a truck very quickly. So anyway, here we are. I haven't been down here in a while, and it looks like I need to come down and do some watering because things are looking a little ragged in here, a little dry. Although I do have some fresh growth here on a graft there, as you can see. Coming out right there. And that graft there, that's apple. That's Fuji apple, and that's doing really well. I'll probably see apples on that next year. And then this is a Sharon apple or Gala apple. And yeah, it's got buds on it, so doing really well. I mean, now that the heat waves have kind of like calmed a little bit, it's it never even got up to 100 today. It was like 92 or something. And then it dropped down when the rain came through, it dropped down to the 80s. And then the temperature jumped back up again. Now it's about 91, 92. So, yeah, I got to come in here and water. Even my little tangerine tree here, looking a little sad, a little weepy there. And Everything else, well, the tomatoes have got flowers on them. First time I've seen that this year. I think the temperatures were just way too hot for them. And anyway, I came in last week and all of the fruit was ripe on the tree and it was starting to fall off on its own. So I picked all of the fruit off the peach trees and off the grapevines and brought those inside, and I've been snacking on those daily. Looks like I might have missed a couple of grapes here. Better eat those. They are good. Anyway, yeah, everything looks sad here. This poor old peach tree, well, not old, it's a young tree, but it's dropped all its leaves, and the fruit never got much bigger than a peach pit. But a couple of years, it'll probably do okay. I need to prune it back and get a better shape on it, because this stuff is going to be cutting off into the walkway here, and then every time you walk by, you just irritate the tree. Looks like there's some fresh growth coming out of it there. So let's see. No, these branches are actually dead. Just snapped them right off. Yep. So anyway, I'll have to come in and do some pruning. These are the trees, the citrus trees that I saved that were getting heat damaged inside the greenhouse. I brought them out here and saved them. That one didn't make it, but these did. And this one's got a nice graft on it too. So the graft is doing well. Okay, this whole branch right here is a graft, and looks like it's doing pretty well. So they look like they could use a little bit of water and soaking down. I was hoping for rain today. It never really produced anything, but it looks like my figs and all that stuff all need water. So I'll have to come in here and water things down. I need to transfer water down this way too, out of the blue barrels up by the tank. I should have about 870 so gallons up there that I can transfer down here, and that'll take me well into the winter, and hopefully we'll have a rainy season this year. Looks like I'll have to prune back that tree. Got some new growth on it. I saved that one. My apples here are doing really well. And remember, these are multi-apples. These have like anywhere from 3 to 5 different apples growing on a single tree here. I think this one has three different apples, and that one has 5 different apples. That's a tangelo tree grown from seed that I got from my friend Bill's tangelo tree, and this is all catnip. The catnip kind of helps the plant grow. It really likes having the catnip around its base. So anyway, that's about it. In there, all I have is some purslane growing, and I'm gonna should just go in there and cut some of that off and feed it to the chickens. The winds have been blowing things around in here, and that panel right there, apparently the winds got to it and pulled it out of its frame. So I'm gonna have to get out here and get a ladder up there and see if I can get that thing back into its frame. Let's see. Purslane, good for humans, good for birds, good for everybody. Good stuff. All right, that should be a nice, healthy bunch for the chicks. The Dixie chicks, or whatever they are. No, Dixie chicks would be in a Dixie cup, right? Yeah. All right, so anyway, yeah, the rain again passed me by as normal, but there was clouds all day, been overcast since morning, and my panels are still doing pretty good on picking up electricity off of them, but it's not a 100% so I can't run the air conditioner during the day if I'm only getting about 30–40% of the power through my panels. I can only run the air conditioner for a few hours, but I don't really need it when it's like this because it's cool out here. It's not really hot like it normally would be, and even though the humidity's up higher because the temperatures are down into the 80s and 90s, it's a little easier to live with. So anyway, yeah, I'm still hobbling a little bit, but I can move around pretty good. I figure by next week I'll probably be back in the running the Ironman race and getting things done. Okay, chicks, here we go. Look at that, they love that stuff. Now, I got my sign up here. I wasn't going to put it on the chicken coop originally, but then somebody did point out that if I put it in the wrong place, somebody's going to steal it. So I put it up here, and there's a camera that watches this area all the time, so I'll be okay. So for a treat for the chickens the other day, I found corn at the supermarket. Good sweet California corn was on sale, 5 for $1. Well, I can't eat 5 before they go bad, but boy, that's some cheap chicken treat. So 2 were for me and 3 were for the chickens. And I just peel the peels back and throw the whole thing in there. When I come back later, all there is the husks left. I mean, they've eaten everything else. All right, I should say the cob is left. The husks are gone. All right, let's see what we got going in here. I got to get out here and clean this too. But yeah, there's the girl sitting on her eggs still. I think all those eggs are no good. They're not ever going to hatch. But I do have other eggs in these other nests that I need to pull out and get inside. But I think the next time she leaves that nest, I'm gonna have to pull all those eggs out of there because she could sit on them for the rest of her life and they're not gonna hatch. As those eggs were, she first started sitting on them back in June, and we're going into September here, so there's no way in the world that those eggs are going to produce any baby chicks. She has gotten up off of them for a day at a time and come back to them at night, but I'll get those all out of there and she'll probably lay some more. But it's that time of the year where I like to re-nest the whole coop. So I usually close the door on them so they can't come in, and I clean the whole coop out on the inside and put new straw into their nesting, put some new pine shavings down around, and when I put the straw in, I always dust it with diatomaceous earth, and that helps keep things like lice and that stuff out of there. And then after I'm done cleaning that, I usually take a sifter and I go around the whole inside of the run after it's been raked out and cleaned. I'll go inside there and I'll dust the whole inside of the run, or all the runs, with diatomaceous earth. And it doesn't hurt them at all. They can eat it. It won't kill them. You can actually mix it in with their feed, and it helps if you have a problem with dirty eggs and hens with diarrhea. Putting in diatomaceous earth into their food or mixed in with their feed will usually help get rid of that problem. So that's about all I have. I'm thinking that all of this time I've had sitting down and doing nothing, I have given a lot of thought to maybe it's time for me to start thinking about maybe getting myself a life partner to move in with me out here. Maybe a lady who's interested in all the types of same thing that I am, and living off the grid and living the old ways. Not completely all the old ways. I mean, you know, we do have electricity and that stuff. But yeah, it's I don't know. I've got to start thinking about that because I'm not getting any younger by the day, as none of us are. We all get older by the day. And it came to a realization that, you know, I've got chores to do every day. And if I'm down and out like I have been, it's really hard getting those chores done. Now, if I had somebody here that shared this with me and shared the same interest with me, you know, they could cover for me for a few days or a week if they had to. And I could have stayed off my foot completely for a whole week and probably already been 100% back by now. But because there's chores to do and there's things that I cannot neglect, like the animals, well, you know, stuff like that happens. So anyway, just a thought. I'll put together something over the next few months or so and see if I can't come up with an idea and a way of meeting somebody, even if I have to go into one of those singles network things. I've never tried that before, but what the heck? Got to start somewhere, right? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is G Bear. Reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there. Don't forget to subscribe. Questions and comments at the bottom. And don't flood me with questions and comments. Yes, flood me with them. This is G Bear. Thank you for joining me and signing off.